morning, 7th grade. Welcome to day 5 of week 7. Today is May 8th. Today you are taking a mini evidence of mastery. I don't really want to call it a full one. I mean, it is going to be out of 100 and is counting as a test grade, but the questions that are on the evidence are very similar to questions you've seen this week. So my suggestion is not only pay attention to my video today, but also look back at the lessons from this week. Because the reason why we did our lessons this week was to spiral and reassess some of the questions you got wrong or incorrect on the benchmark. So some of the questions on today's evidence, I'm going to tell you, you have in your lessons with the answers already. And if it's not the exact question, it's a very similar question. So I hope that you use that to kind of guide your work today, and also use what I'm going to show you as a support as well. Okay, so we'll click on our classwork tab. We'll go down to day 5. You'll see you have your benchmark, evidence of mastery reassessment, and then it'll be right here. In the directions, I also remind you, use your notes from this week to help you answer all the questions. Take your time, read the questions carefully, use the key words to help you determine your answer. Check your solution by plugging it back into the equation to make sure it's true. It's all multiple choice, so you guys should also use the process of elimination when possible. And be confident, take your time, and good luck. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of questions that I think will help you also. It's not the exact question from the evidence, but it is similar. So for the first one, we have negative 3.2 minus question mark equals negative 3.5. We've seen a question like this before, so I know the first thing I'm going to do is replace that question mark with a variable. So I'm going to rewrite this as negative 3.2 minus x equals negative 3.5. Okay? Now, my goal is to figure out what is that value of x. To find x, we always have to move the constant, which is the number that's by itself, on the same side of x. So we need to inverse this negative 3.2. And in order to cancel it out to make it equal 0, we're going to add 3.2. So we're going to add 3.2 here because this sum will equal 0 and cancel out. And I'm also going to add 3.2 here. Now, some of you were saying you don't have calculators that do mixed numbers. There was the link that was provided on Monday and Tuesday's lesson for a fraction and decimal calculator. You can use that. This fraction, this mixed number, I just know negative 3.5 is the same as negative 3.5. So I'm going to rewrite that over here. And then this calculation, all of you should be able to do in your calculator. Negative 3.5 plus 3.2 is going to leave us with negative 0.3. Okay? Because they're different signs, so we subtract and we keep the sign of the bigger number. So this is where a lot of you were making your mistakes, and I did mention this in the lesson on Monday and Tuesday as well. See this x? This negative that's in front of it, or this minus, has to come down with it. So our variable is still negative right now. So we have negative x equals negative 0.3. And we cannot leave a variable as a negative value. So we have to now take this negative sign. We have to put a 1 in front of it. And we are going to now divide by negative 1 to get that x by itself. So now x equals, we would do this calculation, negative 0.3 divided by negative 1, and it's going to give us a positive 0.3 as our answer. Okay, so this is not the exact question on your evidence, but it is similar. You also have the question from your evidence, possibly in your notes from this week, so I would take a look at those as well. All right. Question 2 on your evidence, again, is similar to this. It's not exactly this, but it is similar. So it says Mark is buying shirts. Each shirt costs $8.25, and there is a shipping charge of $3. The total of the order is less than $50. So in these types of questions, we want to look for our keywords. The first one I see is each. Each shirt. I don't know how many shirts Mark's buying, but when I see that word each, I know that means multiply, and I know that the cost of each shirt is $8.25. So that tells me I'm probably going to be multiplying $8.25 times my shirts. Okay? There is a shipping charge of $3. A shipping charge is just a one-time fee, a one-time charge. So that would just be added on to my order. And then we have the order is less than $50. So less than means it's this inequality sign, the one that points to the left, less than $50. So now we're going to write the other side of our inequality. So we have each shirt costs $8.25. So I would write 8.25 times S for each shirt. I'm going to multiply it by $8.25. And then that $3 shipping charge, so plus 3 for my shipping charge, and my order is less than 50. And that's it. So for the second question, you're going to be asked to write an inequality. Use the keywords in the problem to guide how you set that up. Remember, the word each indicates multiplication. That number should be with the variable. A shipping charge is a one-time fee. It's just added to the order once without any other variable. Okay? All right. The third question looks something like this. Not exactly this, but similar. The temperature dropped from 4 degrees Fahrenheit to negative 21 degrees Fahrenheit. How much did it decrease? So I'm going to look at this problem and say to myself, okay, it dropped from, so this was the original, right? That's what I started at. I started at 4, so I'm going to write that here. It dropped from this and is now negative 21 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's where I'm at right now. That's what my temperature equals. So my temperature equals negative 21. That's where I'm at right now. This is my current, what we're at, okay? They want to know how much did it decrease. The word decrease tells me that it went down. So I would then put minus a variable. I don't know how much it went down, but I know that it decreased, so that means minus, okay? And there is my equation to solve. I'm going to erase so I have room. I guess I'll continue over here. Okay. So I'm just going to rewrite that equation we just came up with. We're starting at 4 degrees. We dropped some amount, or we decreased some amount, and we are now at negative 21. So I'm going to rewrite that here. 4 minus x equals negative 21. So similar to the question we did before, we're going to inverse our constant. Our constant is 4, and since it's a positive 4, we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. Okay, 4 minus 4 is 0, so that cancels out. Negative 21 minus 4, we're getting more negative, would be negative 25. And then this is where your common mistakes happen. We're not bringing down x, we have to bring down negative x. All right. So now x is still not isolated because this negative is here. And we know in front of x there's a 1. So we're going to now take negative 1, divide it by both sides, so that now our x is positive, and negative divided by a negative, 25 divided by 1 will give us a positive 25. So the answer to this question is the temperature decreased 25 degrees. Okay, I'll write that here. It decreased 25 degrees Fahrenheit, to be specific. Okay, so that's very similar to question number 3 on your benchmark today, on your evidence today. We did do a question like this week, so you probably have one in your notes as well. If you look back, I believe it was on Tuesday, we did almost an identical question. Okay, so you have that as well. And then the last question on your evidence is another inequality one. And it's similar to the question you guys did on yesterday, with the Dave and Buster's. So let me just take a look so I make sure I'm really giving you some good hints here. Okay. So let's see. Let's say you go to, we'll just keep it Dave and Buster's, okay? You're going to earn 20 points just for becoming a member. So you get that one time, you become a member, you get 20 points, okay? You're going to earn 2.5 points each visit. So each visit you come, you're going to earn 2.5 points, okay? I should make that plural. And then in order to get a free game card, you need to earn at least we'll make it 50 points. Okay, so the question is going to ask you to write an inequality that models this. So let's look for our keywords. You need to earn at least. At least is a word that sticks out to me. We went over this. At least indicates the inequality sign greater than or equal to. So I know that my inequality for this is going to be greater than or equal to 50. Okay? Because I need 50 points or more to get that free game card. Okay? I then earn 20 points for becoming a member and 2.5 points for each, here's this word again, each visit. Do I know how many visits I'm going to make? No, so this is my variable. We can use X. So let's write that. So I'm going to earn 2.5 times X for each visit I go, and I also get that additional 20 points for just becoming a member. And there's our inequality, 2.5x plus 20 greater than or equal to 50. Now, the tricky thing on your evidence is your answer choices are written flipped around. They're not written where the solution is on the right. They're written when the solution is on the left. So we went over, if you wanted to flip this inequality, you take whatever on the right, you're going to write it over here on the left. You then flip the inequality. So we're going to switch it now. We're going to make it less than or equal to. And then you put what's over here on the right. So they basically flip around, right? Everything gets switched. And now you have your inequality so that your solution's on the left and your expression's on the right. Okay, they're both correct answers. I just wanted you to see what it looks like flipped around because the choices on your evidence are also flipped. Okay, guys, I hope this helped. Take your time. Use the notes that we did all this week, all the exit tickets we did, all the feedback I provided you. I guarantee you that if you have a question to the benchmark, it's probably somewhere in the work you've already done this week. Good luck. Take your time and have a great weekend. Take care.